Alright guys, welcome back to Rome Reviews. I'm Rome and we're going to do 5 pros and cons for FuntouchOS. And we're going to jump right into it. So right out of the gate, I want to talk about personalization because it falls into both categories. It's both a pro and a con for me. And what I'll say is, right before I jump into this, I want to say that these are just minor inconveniences or just things that I like about FuntouchOS. So don't take it as these are deal breakers if they fall into the cons category, or this is oh yeah, this is good to go. This is good to go. This is me telling you to get the device because it falls into pro. It doesn't work like that for me. What I'm gonna do is just tell you a few things that I like about it, and just point out a few features that I may not like as much about it. So, yep, moving forward, personalization. So let's go right into what this could go a few ways, but what I want to do is really just talk about the animations and how you could personalize those. So with that being said, you have a ton of options here. You can go in and do home screen transitions, and you'll see how that so efficient just kind of pops in. I mean, it still does the same animation, but it's more snappier. So I guess it uses less frames, which makes it use less power. But I just chose comfortable, so it's a little bit smoother coming out of that corner. And you can do fingerprint recognition animation and things like that. So there are a lot of personalization options in FuntouchOS, but what makes it fall into the con category as well is the fact that all of this stuff, except for, I mean, with a few exceptions, most of this stuff is turned off. So you have to go in and turn it on. So right out of the box, FuntouchOS doesn't feel as smooth, and you have to go in and turn all this stuff on to make it feel better. Whereas other experiences that I've had with Samsung or Google or whatever, a lot of the stuff is on by default. Now I can't speak to Samsung, but I know for Google, a lot of the stuff you really can't manipulate either. So it's just on out of the box, and that's that. But with here, what also makes it fall into the pro category is that you have the option. So yeah, that's what makes it fall into the con category because there's so many options here. And also the battery piece of it, turning all this stuff on, of course, it comes with the added, I don't know, the added, all these added animations make it drain battery more. So just keep that in mind. So moving on, we're gonna do another pro, and that's gonna be talking about animations. And this is such a small thing, but charging animations. I since this is my first foreign device, and I don't think I've noticed it on any other device. It may be something on the OnePlus, but for Google and I want to say Samsung, you may be able to add something in with the Good Lock application that comes on Samsung. But for Google, there's not a charging animation like this where you could just and then on top of that, you could choose how you want it to look. And I just think that just blows my mind. It's not like I'm sitting here staring at the charging animation every time I charge my phone up, but I do take a look at it and I'm like, man, that is neat. And on top of the charging animation, you also have a USB insertion animation where you get this little pop from the bottom, and you can even customize that to a lesser extent than you can the charging animation itself. But you have a few options there, which I'm again, nobody's looking for that every time, but it's such a nice thing when you notice it. So next, we're going to jump over to the con again, and this is a minor thing. Once again, a lot of the things on this list are, but with FuntouchOS, it inverts the app color when you apply the theme color to the applications. So let's go. Actually, let's do this. Long press, color and style. So of course you know how the icons look without it that feature turned on, but going back in, when you turn it on, it inverts the colors to where the shape of the app is this bright color and the icon itself inside of the app is darker. It's such a minor thing, but it does bother me, and I really prefer how Google does it, where the outside of the app is dark and the actual app icon is lighter. And what I'll do is I'll pop that up on the screen over to the right or to the left, whichever way I'm pointing. It'll pop up on the screen for you guys to see, so you have something to compare it to, and you'll understand where I'm coming from that aspect. So let's go back into the Pro category, and it's going to be this screenshot feature that you have on this device. I love it so much. It's such a small thing. And as you know, on tablets, or not tablets, foldable phones, I mean, really, no, when it's closed, it's perfectly fine actually. You hit the volume down, power button, screenshot. But when you have this device open, it becomes a little more difficult to take a screenshot. I mean, of course, you could try to press them at the same time using your thumb, and it'll work once you get that once you add that skill set to your repertoire. But one of my favorite features on here, and I could have made this number one really for my Pro, even though it's such a small thing, but I see something on the screen that I like, and let's do this. Sorry, I stalk my stats page because I'm just learning how everything works and how to label my videos and to get them more visibility. But anyway, let's say I see something I like, okay, yep, OnePlus 13. And I want to save this to remind me later to look further into this device. 3 fingers, swipe down, screenshot, boom. And you could, and I love this. So I love it so much to where I find myself doing it even when the phone is folded. I don't even go to screenshot that way anymore. I just do that really quick, screenshot, boom. That is my favorite feature. I love it so much, and I find myself doing that all of the time, and it's so convenient. The closest screenshot feature that I could think of on any other device that I would like, especially like when I'm trying to put my son to sleep and any little sound wakes him up. On a Pixel, if you swipe up and just hold it there, it gives you like these options at the bottom, and you could just click the screenshot button there, and it's quiet, and you don't have to worry about doing anything. But this is by far my favorite. So yeah, moving on. Oh, here's a big one. Let me see if I actually have it pop up in here. 1 second. Come on. I may not have it in here right now because I cleaned it up recently. So what I'll try to do is open a few different folders on the phone. And what I'm trying to get it to trigger is this thing that it does where it screenshots the app folder for some weird reason. But it's not doing it right now. But what I'll do is I'll get it to trigger and I'll pop it up on the screen, and it drives me crazy because it does these little snapshots of each of the folders, and it saves it in the Photos app. And I actually can't get it to trigger right now, which is odd. But okay, that's fine. We'll come back to that one. And the next one is this MultiSelect feature. I don't use it a lot, but when I was first setting this phone up and I just wanted to go in and clean up whatever icons were on the home screen quickly, you can just multi-select and then select remove. Now this doesn't uninstall, it just simply removes. You will have to go into the app drawer and delete those, or I mean completely uninstall them, or you have to do them one by one and uninstall them with using the trash can icon right there. Also, when you pinch, so there's 2 ways you can do that. One, long press does same thing. Pinch does same thing. But the other thing you can do is multi-select, hold, and it moves multiple apps, which I like. But you do have to keep in mind that I had these apps vertical when I selected them, but if I let them go, they're gonna spread out across based on how they were before. So keep that in mind. It won't align them vertically, but it is nice to be able to move these apps all at once. So let me put those back how I had them, because I'm obsessive. And the last thing, actually, and I happen to have an email up there. So cool. So here's the thing. I only have one email. But here's the thing. When I have multiple emails on here, and it's like I said, minor gripe. If I were on the Pixel device, I could just, instead of, if I don't expand it and I just leave it like this, and I click on it, it will take me into the email, into my email, Gmail, and I see my whole list of applications. I mean, not applications, my whole list of emails. But instead, no matter how, if you open it or not, it will always take you into the email that you tap on, which is just a minor annoyance. Sometimes I have multiple emails on here. Instead of dragging each one down and clicking the delete option and things like that, I'd rather just leave it not expanded, go into the email app, and then clean them up that way, as opposed to that, I don't know. It's just, like I said, minor thing. So what I wanted to do was add at the end of this video was just a bonus. It's not a pro or a con, just a bonus tip. So since updating to FuntouchOS 15, I noticed, actually, I may be able to show you guys how, yeah, that's how we get rid of it. So I was like, man, I cannot get my taskbar to pop up at the bottom, and I could not figure out what was going on. I was long pressing, and it will trigger circle to search, and I didn't want that. So it was driving me crazy because I wanted to open another app, and I just could not figure it out. So I was holding, and nothing would happen. So what you have to do is just find an empty space on the screen and hold, and the taskbar pop there. But what I was finding, let me make sure nothing crazy pops up on my Instagram when I open it. Okay, nothing crazy. What I was finding, I wish I had a better app to select. Let's see where I can show you this a little bit better. Let's get rid of that. What app was I using earlier? Let's make sure. Let's do make sure nothing crazy. All this voting stuff is popping up on my timeline. Get out and vote, people. But yeah. Even if you long press down here and you happen to touch on the icon, if you keep long pressing, you'll see the taskbar still pop up regardless. And I was actually pressing on my I call it DMs. I don't know what they're actually called on Twitter. But if you long press here, the icon itself for your DMs may activate. But if you just keep long pressing and don't actually let go, your taskbar will come up. So that was just a little bonus one that I wanted to add in, because that was driving me crazy. I could not figure that out, what was going on with that. And not being able to open, I can't even think of a way, because I disabled the little drawer that was over here to the right, and I haven't figured out how to activate that again. So, and plus I don't want it, because I actually swipe from here a lot, and it always will open up that little drawer, and it was driving me crazy. So yep, that has been my 5 pros and cons for FuntouchOS. I'm sure I'll be doing more videos in the future on FunTouch, because there are a lot of like nice touches to FuntouchOS, and there's a lot of things that I feel like is missing. So there will be more videos in the future, and so feel free to like and subscribe for those. And I appreciate you guys being here. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. Later.
Yeah. Yeah. Artlist.io. Look, back and I'm better than ever.